The project is still open on your laptop. The blank document is basically staring back at you. The running shoes are still in the box right next to the door. You know exactly what you need to do. You really want to do it even, but you haven't. That's the part that never really adds up, isn't it? You know that the second you start this, you will all of a sudden feel much better because you've proven this to yourself hundreds of times by now. Every single time that you get close, something just wins. And this is not a decision. It feels physical. It's basically like a wall. And okay, if it would happen once, fine. You call it a bad day and you're done. But if it happens for weeks, maybe even months, worst case is years, that's something else. And nobody really explained what that something else is. I've been stuck in this exact same place for months right now. I don't have a magic fix for it. I think I found a question that you've been asking yourself the wrong way. For sure I did. Luckily, I only figured it out in the one place that I was still showing up. Let's talk about the gym. Quitting doesn't always look like quitting. I know it sounds paradoxical. It looks like you're showing up, going through the motion, and something quietly goes missing. The spark, your drive, the whole reason why you started. My body is still there. My head just refuses to even think of that. The part that my brain says, hey, let's go, it's just really silent lately. It's basically like when you have the ignition switch on the car that's disconnected from the engine. You can turn on the key as much as you want, but nothing will ever happen. It's nice, right? You have the capabilities, but this dude refuses. From the outside, I'm pretty sure that it might look like I'm slacking. I'm just laid back and not doing anything, and I don't want to. And that's the hardest part, to be honest. You've probably got your own version of this battle. Maybe it's a project that you open every morning, stare at it for 1 hour and then close it without writing a single word. I had to change what really counts as a good gym session for me. I had to shrink that definition in order to survive. It's not about the number on the bar anymore, it's about two much smaller things. Did I show up, and did the rep look clean? That sounds much smaller, and for a really long time I felt like I did a massive downgrade to the point of thinking it's failure. Why would I even bother to go? Before I go to the why this small shift was so important, we really need to talk how most people end up here, because that frozen feeling isn't a character flaw, it's a destination, and there is a very specific road that leads to that point. We're about to get into what actually caused this, and it's probably not what you think. I am Mihnea, I'm an engineer, I'm not a therapist, and definitely not a psychologist. I'm not shouting advice from the top of the mountain that I've already conquered. I'm in the valley right now figuring this out alongside you. If this is landing with you, if you have a slight feeling of this dude is really getting me, maybe consider subscribing. And now, okay, let's go to continue talking about the cause of all this. This is the first time in my life that this is happening to me, that I hit this wall like this, and I sure hope it's the last time. The agency that manages my contract changed how I get paid. Not with a new contract for me to sign, no discussion, nothing to be presented to me, just an email announcement. So if you really put this into perspective, resting literally costs me money right now. The one thing that is prescribed to fix burnout, taking time off, now had a direct painful financial penalty in my case. This is basically a textbook example of what researchers called an effort-reward imbalance. You put in maximum effort, but the reward, like security, respect, stability, are either withheld or taken away completely. When that imbalance goes on for too long, research suggests that your system starts to shut down. I don't think I'm weak for breaking under this. I think that's how the system was designed. Extract as much as possible while giving back as little as possible. Some days I still cannot start. This is the truly cruel part about this specific kind of burnout. It's not just that you're tired, it really attacks the very mental skill that you need to escape all of this. This is related to something called executive dysfunction. It's like when the CEO of your brain, the part that is responsible for starting and planning things, has been put on indefinite unpaid leave. It doesn't just take away your energy for your hobbies, it also takes away the ability to execute the moves that you would need to get out of this whole fire. Then the loops kicks in and it's vicious. You don't do the thing that could save you, so nothing changes, which means you are just as depleted tomorrow. And then there's this really thought that pops up. What's wrong with you? You used to handle so much more, so stop being lazy. That thought itself is stressful. It triggers a shame response which drains your limited energy even more. So tomorrow you actually start the day with even less in the tank than what you had today, and today was almost bare minimum. For me, this spiral has a very specific voice that narrates all this. A voice that is much older than this job. Growing up in Romania, I heard this phrase constantly. From teachers and from family. I cannot blame just one single individual. It's the cornerstone, or it's one of the cornerstones of our culture. Nu există nu pot, există doar nu vreau. It means there is no such things as I can't, there's only I don't want to. Which, to be honest, it's meant as an encouragement, a tool to build resilience, to help you push through, to stop making excuses and to find solutions. And for years, to be honest, it worked. It got me through a lot. But now I'm 32 years old and I am fully aware that this is not the greatest thing to say to a kid. The fact that it's unhealthy doesn't really switch it off, right? The programming runs deep. It became a belief, almost as close to as an identity. And when I'm in this state of burnout, it doesn't show up as encouragement. Hey man, come on, you can do this. No, it comes out as an accusation. Come on, man, you're just being lazy. If you really wanted to fix this, you would. This means that you don't really want it badly enough. That is an actual thought that I have to actively talk myself down to multiple times a day. It's the voice of my inner drill sergeant telling me that my exhaustion is moral failure. I bet you have a similar sentence like mine too. In your own voice, from your own house, but installed by someone else. That's what makes it so much heavier than just, oh, I'm tired. It's not just your nervous system that is exhausted. It's an old, unforgiving rule that is still grading you. Honestly, nobody told this rule, hey, by the way, contexts have changed, so better you fuck off. My thought process was like, if I go to the gym, it needs to be a proper session, maybe even set a couple of PRs here and there. With that silent high stakes standard that I was setting right here, I just didn't start. The pressure of doing it right and correct the first time was so immense, and it was more bearable to do nothing. So at some point, and honestly with you, mostly out of frustration, I dropped that high standard entirely and I started doing things badly on purpose, just to see what happens. I went to the gym, I did my quick warm-up, I did 2-3 exercises with low amount of reps, no PRs, nothing, and then I left. And the thing is, I actually did that when the goal was to do it badly, to make it so small and actually a bit rubbish if you really think about it. It made me move. The wall was all of a sudden not there, and when I gave myself permission for it to be mediocre, somehow it set me free. I found out later that there is a name for this approach. The theory is basically that the actions precedes motivation and not the other way around. Instead of you waiting to feel good in order to do things, you do the small things in order to start feeling good. So by intentionally doing tasks poorly, you are also lowering the activation energy to pretty much zero. You are bypassing the perfectionist gatekeeper that your brain decided to be. So the tiredness was never the main thing that was stopping me. The exhaustion was real, but the true barrier was the impossibly high standard that I set before I even start all of this. For months, I measured every day against one single metric. That was my biggest mistake, getting back to who I used to be. Back to the guy that could work 9-10 hours a day, do gym 6 times a week, do it with a smile and still be there for his friends and family, the high performer, the guy that never has any issues. That's the trap. And I really, really want you to hear this next part. The version of you that you're trying to get back to, is the version that broke. That guy was running flat out with no brakes. He was ignoring all his body warning signals. That's not the guy that you really want to rebuild. That's the guy that you want to learn from, which leaves with a much scarier question, but I think a much better one. If you're not going back to that guy, then where are you actually going? And here's how I started to look at this whole thing. It goes back to that barbell in the gym. The muscles luckily didn't disappear. It's still there. I'm still fat, but that's another problem. Your skills, your intelligence, your passions, they haven't vanished. What changed is how much weight your system can handle right now in this exact moment. And here's the really weird part that I'm only beginning to understand right now. Lifting a lighter weight but with a perfect controlled deliberate form has taught me more about muscle control than any of my, to be honest now with you, ego-driven heavy sets ever did, because I cannot hide behind a big number anymore. I have to focus on the quality of the movement. That's the bit I really want you to take away from this. You are not a broken, lesser version of who you were. You are a version of yourself that is being forced to learn something that your previous self didn't have to. How to keep going when the numbers are going down. How to find value in imperfect action. How to notice when a system is exploiting you and finally stop calling that is your own failure, because it's not. You don't develop this kind of wisdom when everything goes your way. I hate to break it to you. You only learn in a year like this one, exactly like this one. If you actually believe that the person on the other side, the one who is more resilient, more self-aware, is someone worth becoming, then this middle part isn't just something to survive. This middle is where this transformation actually happens. The good part isn't the destination, it's the rewiring that is happening on this journey. And I'm trying to be a lot less of a jerk with myself while this happens, and you're allowed to have the same deal with yourself. I grant you that if you don't allow it for yourself. If you got your own version of this lighter bar in the gym, maybe the business that you cannot launch, the book that you cannot start writing or even start reading, and you're standing there calling yourself lazy, broken, all kinds of bad words, I don't think that's what is really going on. I think there's a part of you that is still desperately wants this, and there's another part of you that simply and logically is running out of fuel or already ran out of fuel. Drop a comment and tell me what's one thing that you're gonna give yourself permission to do badly just to get it done, to take action, to do something. I am genuinely asking. I read all of your comments and I reply to all of them. Take care of yourself. Don't take yourself too seriously. I really mean that. And until next time, take care of yourself. Bye bye.